Hey, hello, welcome back. So doing another video. I'm actually move my camera, so it looks a little weird now. Anyway, one thing I did wanted to discuss was, if you watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, maybe you watch, preppers, or you watch certain people for news, maybe you watch shows like Redacted, or whoever it is that is your favorite person that you go to for news. Maybe it's a Tim Pool or a Andrew Tate or whoever it might be. And when you watch a lot of that stuff there's a lot of fear for the future, right? The fear, uncertainty, and doubt, what they refer to as FUD. And I think a lot of people forget one of the most important principles that Jesus talked about, and it was in Matthew 6:34, where Jesus said, "Therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble." And that's basically what Jesus was making. The point was, tomorrow you're going to have whatever issues that are going to go on tomorrow that will cause a level of anxiety. And he said, don't worry about that. Worry about today. Worry about the anxieties that you have today, and do your best to manage those. Worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, worry about what's going to happen a week, a month, a year from now. But a lot of this stuff, humans don't like uncertainty. Humans don't like uncertainty. And the government understands that. And it's something that sells. Fear, especially fear mongering that you see on YouTube, is very popular. And I think it's because a lot of people just don't have the faith like people used to have in the past. And even some who do put a little too much attention because it's always out there. The fear mongering, the propaganda, it's always in your face everywhere you look, on social media and on the mainstream media, where you go talking to your friends from day to day, a lot of it resulting from people just making bad decisions. And of course, people coming to you with their own problems, creating anxiety for you, people telling you, oh, you need to watch out for this because this is going to happen, this conspiracy, and the jabs are going to kill you, and you're going to be dead in 2 to 5 years, and all this stuff, right? It was all this stuff that was promoted to people. Same thing from the opposite side, right? Same thing from the opposite side. Oh, if you don't take it, you're gonna die. You're gonna kill grandma. You're gonna end up in the hospital. You're gonna end up on the vent. A lot of that didn't happen. A lot of those people that died were people who died that would have died from the flu or another respiratory illness. No, some people were a little bit suspect. They died pretty quick, which is very weird from our experience as a healthcare worker. I wonder if maybe they threw something out there that kind of got everybody riled up and then just let things take their course naturally as people start to see what was going on, right? Trying to put on a good show with all those videos of people fainting in the street, which caused, of course, a lot of fear, right? Caused a lot of anxiety. And anxiety, especially prolonged anxiety, is very bad for the body because the body naturally will release stress hormone called cortisol. Cortisol, of course, can cause other specific diseases like heart and lung disease. And then people wonder why a lot of people are dying. They say, oh, well, it's probably because of that. And I say, well, maybe. Who knows? We won't know. No one's out there doing any research. But what we do know is that prolonged cortisol is very detrimental to the body. Being in a constant fearful state is very detrimental for the body. And of course, that's one of the reasons why Jesus said, don't worry about tomorrow. Just worry about today. And of course, I watch a lot of these videos talking about everything's going to collapse. The housing market is going to collapse. The dollar's going to disappear tomorrow. Go out and buy gold. And like I said, when you're a hammer, everything that you look at, every problem that you look at it like it's as if it's a nail. And so you use the same routine. If you're a prepper, well, better prep. If you're a gold bug, well, better go out there and buy gold, or better go out there and go buy silver, etc. For the people that are like, hey, go out there and buy my course so you can understand how the economy works, right? Go out there and buy your Bitcoin. Better go out there and get some land. And a lot of this, of course, causes anxiety for many people. But there's always something to worry about from day to day. What will happen tomorrow will happen tomorrow. From God's standpoint, even He said, don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about today. Worry about today. One of the best things that you can do is to not watch that sort of content because it continues to create a backloop. I see all these people, this is it. In 24 hours, this is going to happen. In 10 days, this is going to happen. And then that time period comes and goes and nothing happens. And you spent all that time watching these videos, worrying about, is this going to happen? Instead of taking charge of your own life. If that's what these people want to do, then let them go right ahead. But for me, God has already told me, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will have its own anxieties. Tomorrow will have its own problems. Just worry about getting through today. Just worry about getting through today. And if more people were that way, people making stress for themselves that are unnecessary. And if you really want to talk about eugenics and pushing people over the edge and depopulating people, you can just do that by keeping people in a constant and fearful state. And so this is one of the reasons why YouTube pushes this stuff. They push it in the algorithm because it's popular, because it's popular, and they understand human behavior. Humans are fearful about the future, especially if everywhere you look, everybody's talking about the same thing. Everybody's talking about the stock market's going to come down, the housing market's going to come down, there's going to be a food shortage, the price of everything is going to go up. And I was just like, well, go out there and be more productive. If that's the case, if you're really worried that there's going to be some sort of a financial issue, well, then go out there and be more productive. Consume less, produce more. Then you won't have to worry. Bible principle said that each man should go out there and work enough to provide for himself, but also have enough to share. That would make it a lot easier, so that when somebody might go through a tough time, we say, hey, don't worry about it. I got some extra food. Oh, you need some clothing? Oh, don't worry about it. I have some extra clothes here. You need some energy? I got some wood. I got some gasoline, some kerosene. What do you need? I'll give you a hand. But a lot of people, unfortunately, are lazy, and this laziness causes anxiety. And the Bible often talked about that in the book of Proverbs. Well, a little more folding of the hands, a little more slumber, and poverty will come upon you like a highwayman, like a robber. And a lot of people out there just lack productivity. And this is what the government counts on. The government counts on this stuff, and they always threaten you with personal responsibility because they know that you look to them for leadership, you look to them basically to solve all your problems. And that's why they always threaten you with accountability and freedom. That's why they say, hey, if you didn't take this, well, then you're not going to be able to get a job in one of our approved corporations. Your kid's not going to be able to go to one of our schools. And it's like, shoot. The Bible talked about self-sufficiency. The Bible talked about having your own land, living off the land. The Bible taught in the book of Proverbs talks about inculcating. You must what? You must walk about with your children during the day, during the evening, at night, right? It says you must inculcate these teachings into your children. But people have abdicated that responsibility and they've given it to the government. And so the government, since you've abdicated the authority for your children, that's why the government will choose to teach them what they want. And it's because at the end of the day, they always threaten you with the same thing. And so I say, well, if that's the case, take your children back and homeschool them. If you're worried about losing your job with this particular corporation, fantastic. You can go out there and start your own business. If you're not quite sure what they're putting in the food, maybe you want to invest in producing your own food, even if it's in a small way, incrementally over time. And most importantly, don't be anxious about tomorrow. Tomorrow will have its own problems. And the problems that you think might be there tomorrow might not. They may never come to fruition. And you spent all that time worrying, thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow, and then it never happened. And you wasted all that time where you could have found opportunities to find joy out of life. And of course, most importantly, exercise helps to reduce stress. So if you're feeling stressed, it's important to alleviate that stress. And one of the most important ways, especially for mental health, is with exercise and of course a good diet. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Take care.